Let's play basketball. Marquette had it for a moment, but McKinney said, not today on the left side. Kissing it off the glass for the lay-in.
We've seen what Tori McKinney can do offensively so many times. Coming into college, though, she was known for her defensive prowess. Defensive Player of the Year in the AAU season coming out of Minnetonka High School.
An early traveling call against Marquette gives it right back to the Gophers to continue the offense that they've already started. 2 points on the board. So see her shift her feet. Minnesota going to work it around from Battle to Braun. Back to Battle. Taking her 1v1, pops it and sinks it. Look at that swoosh.
Good to see Amaya Battle getting involved in the offense early, hitting her signature pull-up jumper. That is what she is known for.
Yeah, entered into the 1,000-point club last season. Finding her offensive rhythm points-wise. She's been helpful in a lot of areas throughout the season so far.
She has no easy feat defensively either. She is matching up against Skylar Forbes, who we talked about in the open is quite the basketball player.
We saw Volker take that last shot, no good. And again, another opportunity for Minnesota. They've scored on both of their offensive attacks so far.
Have to like that start to the basketball game if you're Coach Don Plitzowite.
Yeah, early game jitters, not today for the Gophers. Starting from McKinney over to Braun. Over to McKinney here on the right wing, off the mark. First time here the Gophers miss. And another traveling call. Look at these turnovers early on here from Marquette.
Something the Gophers are known for under Coach Don Plitzowite, forcing turnovers defensively and then offensively doing a great job of maintaining possession of the basketball. One of the lowest in turnover margin last season in the nation.
McKinney set to bring up the ball for the Gophers. And over to Battle. Braun coming off the screen. Sends it to McKinney. Driving through the lane. Another lay-in here from McKinney.
McKinney taking advantage of a smaller Mason defending her, dribble penetrating, using her size to get inside for that left-handed layup. As Marquette looks to swing it around, Volker gives it over to her teammate, off the mark from Weiss. Gophers are finding a way to get this ball back time and time again, and inside to Hart, the right-handed lay-in. The Gophers showing up. Yeah, she has definitely set the mark high for her team and holds them to that standard. But on the dribble, trying to get it in, that pass no good for Forbes. Braun quickly helping the Gophers up into the offense. Back to her, pops it from three, short. Trying to keep this offensive groove going. Up 8 early. Marquette still looking for their first basket, but a traveling call. This one on Porter. Turnovers have been an issue so far for the Golden Eagles. 5 turnovers already with just 7:07 left in the first quarter.
Battle, guarded by Mason. To Braun on the left wing, gets the entry pass. Sophie Hart going to work. Short, just about got her own rebound, but couldn't secure. Up to Mason. Again, Marquette looking for their opening bucket. Also off the mark from Volker. They'll stay scoreless. As the Gophers have an open Tori McKinney who swirls it in.
Gophers are feeling it tonight.
Yeah, McKinney already 7 points on the evening. Impressive, not much time into it. Trying to get it off the left side glass. Her teammate helps her out, Volker.
Probably feels good for the Golden Eagles to get that first basket underneath their wing here, settle down a little bit defensively, hopefully get a couple stops and get themselves right back into this game.
McKinney off the screen, in rhythm, able to draw the foul.
Not surprised to see Forbes going for that block. She broke the school record last season in blocks with 56. So quite the shot blocker amongst her accolades, as well as all of the offensive scoring that we talked about earlier.
McKinney makes the first of two. And 5:52 left in the first. 12-2, the Gophers up until now. 13-2 after the last McKinney free throw. Inside the lane, drawing, gets the and one. It's Porter. She'll head to the line.
Nice job by Olivia Porter getting up the court quick, not allowing the Gopher defense to get set. Nice, pretty little spin move. Tough to defend for Mara Braun.
Able to complete the three-point play.
Golden Eagles showing a full court press after that made free throw.
Glenn into the game here for the Gophers, as well as Tonga. Tonga forcing her way through the lane. Can't finish it out. Forbes with the rebound.
Gophers bench has been so spectacular these first two games, with the addition of Tonga and Glenn.
You look at those hands, McKinney doing it on defense and on offense. Another lay-in here on the left side.
Tori McKinney already 11 points.
Glenn securing it up here for Minnesota. She's going to take her 1v1, but called for the travel. Saw her wanting to hurry, already up here by 10, but Gophers not wanting to stop at that.
Gophers just want to keep the streak of those high-scoring games going, coming off that 99-point victory against Manhattan on Friday night. We're looking for another high-scoring game tonight.
Yeah, there's not a second of this clock to waste. They're still going to work. Volker over to Porter. Porter inside here to Weiss. Weiss over battle, gets the right-handed lay-in.
Nice strong post move by Weiss.
McKinney right to the hole, short. Gonna bring the ball up here. Vidieko gives it to Volker for three.
Golden Eagles are starting to settle in here a little bit, play a little bit more basketball. That is their style. Started off with those 7 turnovers early, but they've settled down a little bit in the last couple possessions.
Now 15-10, Gophers up. Tonga trying to force it up. That defense strong underneath. But Weiss for Marquette here on the other side. Picked up her dribble. Gonna need a teammate to help her out.
Season alongside a name that most women's basketball fans will know in UConn's Gino Oriema. So she's in good company there as co-coach of the Big East last season.
Yeah, just her first year coming in hot, trying to make it happen for her team.
Consuegra played her college basketball at Iowa, was all Big Ten her senior season as a point guard. She was the first player in Iowa history to score 1,000 points and 500 assists. So returning back to Williams Arena as a coach this time.
Mason short off the rim, gives it back to Minnesota. McKenna Christian in the game. She pops it. This one rolls off the rim. See Marquette transition quickly. They're in transition 25% of the time.
They like to push the ball up the court, especially Jaden Mason, their second leading scorer this season. Senior out of Kansas City, Missouri.
As Weiss dumps it in. You saw them have a little bit of a slower start, but they're gaining some momentum. A 7-0 run here in the last 2:25.
What's interesting is they went on that 7-0 run without their star player, Skylar Forbes, on the court.
Yeah, having so many veterans on this team probably helps them out, but McKinney getting the stop and all the way up, trying to find Glenn, but Marquette gets a hand in. Mason denied underneath. So you saw Gracholski getting in good position.
Yeah, good job by Grace. She turned the ball over offensively, but kept her head up, sprinted back, and got into defense quickly to prevent Jaden Mason from the transition bucket.
So Gracholski gonna take it in for Minnesota. Awaiting Battle to bring it up. Some minute 35 left in the first. 15-12, Gophers lead. Battle trying to turn the corner, floats it in short, gets her own rebound though. Gophers still on offense. Into Gracholski, shot fake, and turns it up and over the rim. Gophers to 17.
Just a textbook move by Grace Gracholski inside. She's so versatile offensively. She can hit the three, she can shoot a pull-up, and then do a nice little dribble penetration up and under move like you just saw.
Marquette turn it over yet again. Diaco credited with it, trying to go underneath is Braun.
Braun going right at Forbes, who's that prolific shot blocker. You can see here, nice job extending the left arm, getting in the way of Mara Braun's up and under.
Glenn getting the inbound. Spin move in the lane short. Gonna have to get back on defense here as Marquette in transition. Forbes wants it from three, but no. Battle up and under, tips it off and finishes it out is Tonga. Those second chance points are big for Minnesota.
Yeah, they are. Tonga doing a nice job splitting time with Sophie Hart in the post.
Just 20 seconds left. A few seconds over the shot clock here as Mason holding it, trying to run some of this clock down. Shot here on the left wing, rolls out. Gracholski looking up at the clock, 3 seconds. Step back, pops the three, and she gets it! Braun leading the way with 17, McKinney at 16, Hart 13, Gracholski 12, and of course, Christian popping in 11.
Not only were they impressive offensively against the Manhattan Jaspers, they held the Jaspers to not a single three-pointer. First time in Coach Don Plitzowite's coaching era that the Gophers have held someone to 0 three-pointers.
Yeah, certainly an impressive matchup and able to set up this last play. Vice gives it up. But look at Battle underneath, taking the hit.
Amaya Battle and Grace Gracholski are two players that don't always show up as the #1 scorer in the box score, but they do so many little things for the Gophers, both offensively and defensively.
So Vice picking up that last foul when Marquette was on offense. But Forbes finds it from three, her first of the night. She does quite well from that three-point line.
I didn't think it was going to be much longer. Skylar Forbes being held scoreless, averaging 19 points a game. All Big East first team last season as a sophomore.
Gracholski trying to send it in, but a foul called here on Marquette.
Looks like that foul is going to be on Forbes, her second personal. Coach Kara Consuegra choosing to pull her off the court for the meantime.
Yeah, that fight against Tonga underneath is going to be a battle rally throughout this game. But Battle set to take it out on the inbound, seeing the referees make sure they're on the same page before the ball is back in. Gets it into Braun. Gracholski over to Battle. Able to dish it in here to Hart, and she gets it high off the glass.
Sophie Hart has been exceptional at getting defenders on her back, maintaining her post position, and then reading the defense, going over both the left and the right shoulder.
Ball out of bounds off of the Golden Eagles. Battle starting the offense. Again into Hart. This time drop step, puts it up, doesn't get the first, but does draw the foul.
Sophie Hart will be heading to the free throw line. Last season, a 54% free throw shooter.
She misses the first. Still another opportunity here from the line, but that last foul on Bediako. Short off the rim. Gophers have done well with free throws these last couple games, but this trip from Hart, she's going to want that one back. Into McKinney. Going 1v1, pops it out to Gracholski. Off the mark, Battle keeps the Gophers in it. Short jumper, also short.
Good recognition by Battle. Shot clock did not reset on that shot by Gracholski.
This matchup between Mason and McKinney. Mason floats it in.
That's Mason's first points of the basketball game as well.
In her senior year.
Yeah, she's really picked up her scoring and her intensity this senior season. Second leading scorer on the Golden Eagles so far.
She used to only average about 9 points, and now coming into today, closer to 19. High off the glass, but rolling out. Sophie Hart gets the rebound. Denied underneath. Gophers stay here. 24-17, 7:02 left in the second. Let's take a look at that again.
Sophie Hart just continuing to battle inside. What a nice block by the Eagles.
This one pops off the mark to Gracholski with space, and she drains it. Gracholski turning the faucet on early.
Nice inside-out game by the Golden Gophers, finding the open Grace Gracholski.
Inside, Porter turns the corner, 27-19, Minnesota still on top. McKinney gives it up to Braun. Inside to Sophie Hart, and she gets the roll in. Gophers doing a good job finding Sophie Hart on the block.
Gophers are doing a great job moving the ball around the three-point line, getting the defense to shift, and allowing Sophie Hart to find that one-on-one single matchup inside the post.
The shot goes up. Looks like McKinney trying to set up to take the charge, but picks up the personal. Just her first. Glenn back in the game. Matching up against Porter. Gets it inside here to Volker. Short off the glass. Gracholski with the rebound, getting it back for Minnesota. Battle dribbling it out and finds her shot there on the baseline.
Baseline jumper, arguably one of the toughest shots in the game of basketball. Amaya Battle making it look easy.
Porter with the answer, splashes one in. Glenn picks up her dribble, able to find Tonga. Gives it right back to her on the drive, floats it in! Glenn floating every shot, it seems.
Yeah, she loves that little running floater. We've seen that in all 3 games from transfer Briley Glenn.
Mason over to Weiss. And Porter able to keep it in.
Skylar Forbes continuing to sit on the bench with those 2 early fouls.
Great hands by Braun. They find her. 3 on the baseline, short. Gotta appreciate the vision though, getting it up to the open Braun to take that shot. Volker. Long off the mark as well. Inside to Battle. Again with the vision, finds Glenn. But over to Gracholski, she makes her own shot. Seeing a few shots short in this game, but again, a lot of these shooters settle in, find their shot. We've seen a ton of made plays from both these teams as well. Off the mark from Mason, back here with the Gophers. .345 left in the second quarter. Battle leading the charge.
Gophers running a little quick hit here, trying to get Mara Braun open.
Braun to Glenn, 2 seconds on the shot clock. 1, and it's Glenn on the left side.
Mara Braun draws so much attention offensively. Whole team was aware of Mara Braun on the Golden Eagles side, made it easy for Glenn to hit that left-handed layup as the shot clock was winding down.
Mason using the screen, and she puts down the 2. Back within 11, Minnesota 35-24. Marquette trying to stay in it. Again, they were down here in their last matchup, having to come from behind. But Braun, with 6 seconds left, finds the right-handed lay-in.
Mara Braun with her first points of the night.
Now, we told you earlier on, Braun having 7.
First half.
Glenn over to McKinney. She takes on Forbes. Tried to take on a couple of Marquette, but ball turns into a jump ball as everyone's swarming there in the lane.
Skylar Forbes back into the game for the Golden Eagles with those 2 fouls.
They'll stay here in from Battle. Quickly into Glenn. Tori McKinney all alone. The magic show continues.
She is feeling it tonight. 14 points so far in this game.
Saw Forbes trying to put one up, but it goes off Marquette. Gopher basketball.
Definitely see some frustration on the faces of the Golden Eagles here, down 40-24.
Gopher offense starting with McKinney. Over to Gracholski, a couple ladies on her, but a foul after they dump it into Holloway. Foul on Marquette, you'll see it here.
Looks like it was on Jordan Melmans, number 20.
Gracholski, quick fire 3 off the mark. As we approach 90 seconds left here in the second. Firing Marquette off the mark. Utberg wanted that one. Glenn, quick turnaround in the lane. Off the back iron, 1:16. Marquette gets the ball back, 40-24, Gophers on top.
I think the story of this first half so far is the Gophers' ability to hold Jaden Mason to just 4 points and Skylar Forbes to just 3 points.
Forbes going to work against Battle. And finding the open player here over here. That was Melmans again, but off. You're seeing those turnovers add up here from Marquette.
Yeah, 14 turnovers so far in the first half, but that's what the Gophers do. They play this intense, steady defense that just forces people to play a game they don't want to play, and that's clearly happening with the Golden Eagles here in the first half.
Yeah, you saw that graphic come up, 14-3 Marquette with the 14 turnovers. Sure, it'll be a talking point here at halftime.
Gophers have converted those 14 turnovers into 11 points. So doing a nice job being efficient with those turnovers.
Inside to Hart. She finds it.
Great job by Sophie Hart keeping the ball up high away from the defender.
Volker swooshes it in here from the left wing.
Volker having a nice first half for the Golden Eagles.
As we approach 10 seconds left, McKinney, ball in her hands. Finds the open McKenna Christian, and she does it again! McKenna Christian coming up in big moments here for Minnesota. But this one ends.
In the locker room at halftime, Golden Eagles talked about getting Skylar Forbes and Jaden Mason involved. Jaden Mason averages 18 points a game. Skylar Forbes averages 19, and they are at just 4 and 3 so far tonight.
Forbes dishing it out. Her teammate off the mark was Weiss. She's had a few of those opportunities here, trying to find the clicking one, and Volter also off the mark. Braun pulls it down for Minnesota, working it over to Battle, and now Gracholski inside. That bullet found Braun underneath, but she'll kick it out, keep this one working around. Wanting to find that open shot, they have the lead and time to do so. Into Hart, Hart off the glass. She has been so smooth getting that ball up there and in throughout this matchup.
A little screen and roll from between Sophie Hart and Mara Braun. Skylar Forbes with the 2 personal fouls. Probably couldn't be as aggressive as she needed to defending that roll from Sophie Hart. Made it easy for Sophie to get that wide open layup.
Forbes trying to turn the corner. Volter launching from range, off. Battle coming the other way, uses the Hart screen, trying to go to the hole. Forbes defending her. Braun, quick fire 3, short on the rim.
Mara Braun does a nice job of moving without the basketball. You could see her relocating to the top of the key.
As Porter dumps it in here for Marquette. You saw that transition game from Marquette. Sometimes, a lot of times throughout these early 3 games for them. But tonight, we've seen it a few also. Able to get that ball inside to McKinney. Forces Porter to pick up the personal.
Oftentimes, if you're a transition team offensively, you need the other team to shoot poorly so you can grab the missed shot off the boards and go. The Gophers have been shooting the basketball well, so that's making it tough for the Golden Eagles to get into the transition game.
Braun off to the right. Gives it back to Marquette. From Forbes to Mason. And back to Forbes. Porter on the left wing, tried to use the screen from Forbes, didn't make much of it. But they look for Forbes in the middle to try to draw the foul. They get it this time.
Forbes, even though she's 6'3", isn't a player that goes to the paint immediately. She prefers to get her points from the behind the arc and in the middle of the paint. But she had Grholski on her back in the post, and Grholski was fighting down there. Ended up picking up the personal foul.
And one of the fun things I found out when looking into Forbes, she was a gymnast here before playing basketball. Her first year of basketball was her first year of high school, which is crazy to think how impressive of a player she is with just starting in high school. So many players start, in kindergarten, which was myself, and I'm sure possibly you too, Marissa. And putting down the tray, Mason on the left side.
Jaden Mason finally connecting from behind the three-point line. 33% three-point shooter this season so far.
When did you start playing basketball, Marissa?
I mean, I think I always played basketball in the backyard. I have two older brothers, but I think I officially started playing in 3rd grade.
Which, yeah, definitely younger there than that first year of high school for Forbes. That last lay-in from Braun puts the Gophers up to 49.
I'm curious if Forbes was a 6'3" gymnast or if she had a growth spurt.
No, she did have a growth spurt. I read that. She said she got too tall, had to get out of gymnastics, and that's when she started basketball. Stopped up underneath. Braun trying to put the layup up and in. But Mason alone for the baseline. This one pops off. Volker with the quick hands and awareness to get this ball back for Marquette.
Rare turnover for the Gophers, just their 4th in the game.
You can't leave Forbes open like. Certainly someone they'll continue to look for down the stretch.
Golden Eagles coming out in a full court pressure defense out of that timeout, looking to switch up, get the Gophers a little uncomfortable offensively.
Grholski to McKinney, and she draws the foul. Volker picking up the personal as McKinney looked to drive. .553 left in the 3rd. Battle to bring it in. Finds Grholski on the drive. Popped it from the lane. Grholski gets it to go.
She's so fun to watch offensively because she can score from anywhere on the court. We saw her hit that 3 at the end of the shot clock in the 1st quarter. Pretty little pull-up jumper on the last possession.
Forbes boinks it off the front rim. Back here to Minnesota battle. Setting it up. Grholski finds McKinney. Look at that positioning. The magic of McKinney. Able to move that defender away. Abracadabra.
We haven't seen a ton of post-player Tori McKinney, so that was fun to watch. She got the defensive player on her back and showed us what she can do in the paint.
Yeah, that's so true. Vice rattles out. Holloway and Glenn back in the game for Minnesota. As they move this ball around, McKinney. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. McKinney drives and again draws the foul. Yeah, the athleticism, the endurance to keep it throughout this matchup and throughout all of those minutes she's played. But 4:20 left in the 3rd. Glenn looking for the floater and gets the bounce. Minnesota up 55-34 as Forbes trying to feed it in.
It takes a special touch to be able to shoot those runners the way Glenn does.
Certainly a lot of practice, stopping your body, elevating. But Battle looks to elevate. That 3 bounces off. Weiss on the dribble, gives it to Volker. Defended by Hart, gives it right back. And the lay-in no good for Weiss. Battle. Gets it inside to Hart. She uses the body, but off of the glass it goes.
Skylar Forbes doing a nice job defensively, making Sophie Hart alter her shot without fouling.
So Marquette hadn't had a bucket there the last 3 minutes until this one splashes in.
Lee Volker also having a nice game for the Golden Eagles, 7 points. 2 rebounds, 2 assists.
And Hart on the underhand reverse.
Sophie Hart with the flashy reverse layup. I like it.
She's keeping it interesting, finding all different ways to score there inside the paint. But Weiss has it rattle out on her. Took it from 3. No good. Stays 57-37. Glenn wanting it from long range. Normally we're seeing those floaters, but she took it from 3 that time. But Gophers' second chance points looming, possibly coming here from Grocholski, and they do! Minnesota to the even 60 they go.
Gophers are dominating the offensive boards, 10-4.
Forbes tried to go through 2 Minnesota defenders, but Hart stripping it away. Again, forcing another turnover. Minnesota so great with that this game, but Glenn all the way to the hole. She takes it for 2.
Sliced her way in between those 2 defenders.
All of our veterans. But 62-37, just a minute 22 left in the third. Marquette trying to find a comeback. But time expiring on the clock. They got the shot off. Mason took it from range. Able to get the rebound. They'll stay here. They did it against Wisconsin. So they know they're capable. But Mason drives, finding her own shot, but no good. Christian over to Braun. Braun inside to Tonga. Has it stripped. Mason the other way. Mason just about coast to coast, but it pops out.
Gophers are on a 13-3 run over the last 5 minutes, 7-0 run the last 2 minutes, hoping to end this third quarter with a made basket. 15 seconds to go.
They're going to hold it out just tiny bit of time after the shot clock will be left. 6, 5, 4, it goes. Grocholski, the shot off, and it's good! Grocholski is here tonight. That's showing off her skill set. Sitting at 12 points. They get it inside. McKenna Christian finding Grocholski. This one long.
Golden Eagles came out of that timeout in a zone defense. Gophers did a nice job adjusting offensively.
Again, still another scoring drought for Marquette. Now Volker trying to send it over Grocholski. Rims out. Again, it's been almost 4 minutes here for the drought for Marquette.
Golden Eagles putting on a full court pressure defense. Almost forcing the turnover there by the Gophers.
Braun sends it and gets it to rattle in.
Saw that big smile on Mara Braun's face making that three-pointer. Must have felt good. She's been chasing that all night. Mara known for her three-point shooting, that's for sure.
And now up to 7 points here today, and already 5 rebounds and 6 assists. An impressive evening. Mason uses the screen, finds the far side. Weiss gets it back from her, sends it up at the buzzer, but it rolls out.
Gophers time and time again have been forcing their opponents to play late in the shot clock. We've seen quite a few shot clock violations already in our first 3 games here this season that the Gophers have forced.
Vidiaco picking up the foul. This last one. It's her 3rd, team 2nd here in the 4th. Forbes throwing it up, trying to get this one down the court.
Skylar Forbes averaging 19 points a game. In their season opening win against Winthrop, she was held to just 1 point in the first 3 quarters and had 18 points in the 4th quarter. So we'll see if she can come alive here, provide the Golden Eagles a little bit of a spark in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, once she gets going, she's been known to score, but McKenna Christian left open, this time short. But we've seen her take it from that spot time and time again. And a different outcome, that's for sure. Ball coming from Battle. Into McKenna Christian. Over to McKinney. Able to get it inside Hart. Double team for a moment, but they will say she traveled.
Good idea by Hart. Golden Eagles did a nice job locking down defensively on the perimeter, so Hart had to keep it for herself. Just the 7th turnover for the Golden Gophers here tonight.
They've been able to keep it under double digits in both of their opening 2 matchups. Tonight they'll look to do the same. The floater. Sent up from Melman's, no good. Gophers back on offense.
You mentioned keeping their turnovers under 10 in their first 2 games this season. Scored more than 90 points while committing fewer than 10 turnovers.
Run into Battle, right back to her. Over to Gracholski at baseline. Rolls out, but back underneath. Battle to Gracholski. It's good.
All of that possible by Amaya Battle's work on the offensive boards. She has 11 rebounds tonight as a guard, which is just an incredible stat. 4 offensive rebounds, 7 defensive rebounds. Great Gracholski doing a great job moving without the basketball, and the sweet find from Amaya Battle.
Gracholski puts down the free throw. 73-39. Volker gets it from the left wing.
Volker with 13 points on the night.
Battle. Giving it up to Gracholski. Inside to Hart. Gets her own rebound. Goes up, and this one finds it. Dropping it down for the Gophers. 75th point on the evening.
Nice second effort by Sophie Hart, getting her own rebound and the putback for her 14th point of the night.
She just wanted some more stats, isn't that right? Get the rebound and then also putting it up, but the Gophers stealing it, get it back.
There's not many rebounds to be had with the way that Amaya Battle, Grace Gracholski are rebounding tonight.
True that. Sophie Hart on top, over to Braun. Braun was the one helping steal it to get the Gophers back on offense in this last possession. Shot clock down to 3, gives it to Battle. She's aware and puts it up, and it's pure! A 3 from Amaya Battle when they needed it.
Amaya Battle adding that three-point shot to her arsenal over the years. Shot twice as many threes last year in her sophomore season as she did as a freshman. So fun to see that part of her game develop.
Amaya Battle stuffing it down.
You saw her and 7 assists. What a sweet deal when your leading rebounder is a guard.
And not aware of that clock. Shot clock expires. Right back here to Minnesota.
Yet another shot clock violation forced by the Minnesota Golden Gophers. And that fundamentally sound defense that they play game in and game out.
McKinney over to Glenn. Back to Grahulski. Holloway, top of the key, wanted it, but short. Volker bringing it up here for Marquette. 3:51 left in the matchup. It's Holloway defending tough inside the lane.
Kind of felt like tonight the Golden Eagles never really found their stride, right? Coming off that big overtime win versus the Wisconsin Badgers this weekend. Just didn't feel like they ever got into the rhythm and the flow offensively tonight.
Yeah, some more substitutions coming in here for the Gophers. Is Volker. Fade away too, no good. Christian pops it, one in her face, and she gets it! This 3 puts the Gophers up 81-42.
She makes it look so easy.
I know. One in her face, no problem. Marquette short off the rim from Smith.
Well, let's see. 3 minutes to go, 81 points. Are we going to see the Golden Gophers hit 90 for the 3rd consecutive time this season?
Definitely something to keep our eye on as we track down. Glenn helping them out. Now to 83.
Glenn hitting double digits with 10 points tonight.
And a foul underneath on the Gophers. It's Holloway picking up the personal. Went over to help.
Gophers have had some key transfers come in this season. Tonga and Glenn coming off the bench, giving them some much needed depth. Glenn coming from Kansas State, where she was a starter.
This is Utberg putting in the first of 2. Goes 2 for 2 from the line. Senden over to Click. He's had a little bit of pressure early, but Marquette dropped off. Senden inside to Christian. She backs her down and lays it in.
Christian following suit with Tori McKinney, saying, I can do more than just hit a 3 and hit a pull-up jumper. I can post up too.
Yeah, the full game from McKenna Christian. As a sky and high, up and over is Melmans. A minute 45 as Glenn brings it up for the Gophers. Senden cutting through the lane, but they get it over to Holloway. Her shot rims out. But Glenn, the hustle, almost keeping the Gophers with the possession. Popping it short from the baseline from Herring. Click over to Senden. Senden for three. It pops out, but Holloway on the basket to put it in for two.
Nehemiah Holloway. An incredible rebounder in her high school career at Eden Prairie High School, showing us what she can do on the boards.
Yeah, it's got to be because she was a high jumper in high school. She got 2 times in high school. She was the state champion in the high jump there at Eden Prairie High School. So when you're seeing her sky high for those rebounds, you know why.
That explains it.
Inside to Holloway, tried to get the reverse, but gives it up to Glenn after the rebound, and she splashes it down. Glenn, we've talked about her floaters, but this time getting it from 3, showing us she can also do more than just those floaters.
Gophers surpassing that 90-point mark again for the 3rd time this season, and they have 8 turnovers. So yet again, a 90-point game with less than 10 turnovers for the Gophers in their 3rd game this 25-26 season.
Glenn up to 13 points already in her 23 minutes tonight. But Holloway with the quick hands gets it back for Minnesota. And the Gophers at that 90 mark we talked about.